Good evening and welcome to another edition of Call Us Now. I'm Lance Lambert. I will be your host this evening. Your normal host, Bill, is not going to be with us this evening. His mayoral candidacy, as you may have guessed, is taking a lot of his time. And he's out stumping the streets tonight, going door to door, handing out pamphlets and trying to drum up a few votes. So think about Bill tonight, think about his possibility of becoming mayor and possibly vote for him, but I'll be your host tonight. Our topic tonight was sent to us by Trevor the Boxer. We just read them as they sign on the envelopes, and it was Trevor the Boxer. The topic is local news broadcasting. We have some guests tonight that will be speaking to you from different aspects of that topic. And let's go right to the panel and see who they are. To my immediate left, we have Jennifer Jo Getz, who is a local news broadcaster. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. It's very nice to be here.
It's great to have you here. And next to Jennifer, we have Margaret Whiting. Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you.
Thank you. And on the end, we have Hannah Farquhar.
That's right. How's it going?
Very good, Hannah. Thank you for asking.
Great.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, the topic tonight is local news broadcasting, and there's a lot of controversy over the type of people that are broadcasters locally, whether they be real journalists and really get out there and work and find stories, or are they just people that come in and have their hair sprayed and sit down and read a teleprompter. We'd like to know what your opinion is. We'd like you to call in tonight and maybe voice your opinion and ask our panel of experts some questions. And I'd like to start by, I guess it's kind of a treat to have Jennifer here tonight. Jennifer, what station are you with?
Well, Mr. Lambert, it's WQRTY or something like that. I don't really have to remember that because, of course, it's on the teleprompter. I think it's channel 29 or 28 or something like that. It's some cable television program that I newscast for.
I see. Okay, well, it sounds like you're the second of the examples that I gave earlier. Margaret, just why are you here?
I'm the president of the committee to elect Jean Anderson mayor of Seattle.
Jean Anderson is going to be running for mayor.
We'd like her to.
Well, I'm sure Bill will be thrilled to know that somebody from an opposing mayoral candidacy is here this evening. He'll be real happy with me for having you on.
Thank you.
Hannah.
Yeah.
What do you do? Why are you here?
Well, I don't have any, grandiose title or anything of that nature, but I sort of theorize and postulate about a lot of different things, one of them being newscasters, because I have a lot of television sets and I watch a lot of the news. You'll find that you have different categories. You got your big three, your channel 5 is pretty much your integrity and that sort of thing. 4 is the flashy news talking heads like this gal on the end, and then your channel 7 is your sanctimonious religious, sort of self-righteous group. So I'm going to just sort of talk about, along that vein, those things.
What's your opinion on Channel 11? Every time I watch, it's like, this isn't really the news, and I turn to a different station.
KFT Washington?
Yeah.
You got your Wendy Man and that other new young one, the one who's so, dang young, he's practically got peach fuzz. They're not serious. They can't be. They're on at 10. They don't even compete with the big 3 on at 11.
That's right.
Wendy, she's young. I mean, well, she's articulate, but I don't know if she's ever written a story in her entire life.
Well, Wendy's been around for quite a while, I believe. I know for years I've been flipping to 11 and it's the kids doing the news and flipping back off.
I mean, you notice that she's never aged.
Huh, that is curious.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, that's what happens when you work on news television programs. You have people to come and do your hair and do your makeup and things like that, so you'll always end up looking exactly the same week after week.
So are there people out there that are maybe like 120 years old that are doing the news that look like they're 20 just because of the makeup?
There could be. There very well could be.
Well.
Yeah, they do your hair and your makeup and your thinking for you.
This is kind of a silly question. It's been asked on a lot of shows, but I'm really curious. You only see them from the waist up. You never see them from the waist down. Do they ever like show up on a hot day with shorts on and or jeans or whatever, or boots in the snow.
May I add something
Sure.
to that? Obviously, Miss Anderson is so professional, and to lower herself in such a way as to not come completely dressed as her professional character, it's just not called for.
So your accusation is that many of the news commentators aren't fully dressed when they're on the air.
Not fully professional.
Oh, fully professional. Okay.
You know, one thing a lot of people don't know is that Kathy Gertson has a big butt.
Kathy Gertson.
Right. She's the one that is the clone of Jean Anderson. You know, Jean's sort of the, you'll agree with
Yes,
me, she's sort of the
yes.
prototype for newscasters on the West Coast.
Kathy.
And I think, it's just a theory, but I think they could have made Kathy out of a discarded toenail of Jean's or something. I mean, she doesn't have the presence or the professional
Professionalism.
type, but she's pretty and she has the same haircut. And Jesus, she's got a big butt.
Well, I'd like to make a point right there, if I may, Mr.
Certainly.
Lambert.
Certainly.
As you can see, a newscaster's job is one of sitting down, and we don't get a lot of exercise, not like any old regular office job where you'd have to get up and down and go pour coffee and things like that.
Well, you would if you went out and did a damn story every now and again, but I don't think you do that.
Like Miss Anderson.
Right.
Miss Anderson was in Russia. She was definitely doing some heavy-duty walking in Russia.
There was a little controversy over that. There's some of the people in the Northwest weren't real happy about her going to a communist country. They saw that as kind of a traitorous thing to do. How does she respond to that?
It's the American thing to do. That is obvious. Look at the Reagans. I'm sure the Bushes will be making the trip. It is American to be Russian.
Quayle's not going there, is he?
I hope not.
Okay. Let's go to the phone, see if we have a question. Hi, do you have a question for our panel?
Well, I've got a question and a statement. From my experiences with people in the news, they're more interested in going out and generating the stories themselves rather than reporting on them. And quite frankly, Connie Ching Chong and you people especially, the term broadcasters really doesn't apply. I'd say the better term would be news sluts. And my stink is, why don't you guys go out and get an honest job instead of sitting around here and being more concerned with your makeup than what's actually happening in the world?
And what do you do for a living?
I work for the news.
Thank you.
Paper.
So, news sluts. I'll go right to Jennifer on that. Just how do you respond to that?
Well, I don't think the term news slut applies at all. Slut is something like prostitute, I do believe. A news slut would be someone who is prostituting themselves with the news, and I don't think I do that at all. I simply report the news. I simply read the teleprompter that's put in front of my face.
So this gentleman that just called, maybe he goes out by SeaTac and hires women that look like news broadcasters.
I think perhaps maybe news slut is a prostitute reading newspaper on the street corner.
Huh, that is interesting. Well, let's see if we
You
have
know,
another
I'd
question.
like to say something. That is,
Certainly.
Como, that's your news slut. That's your TV bimbo there, the Como gals. Carrie Brock and
Miss Gertson.
right, Kathy Gertson and shoot, that Dana Middleton. Good God, they've had her on before, and I don't even understand that. I don't understand the thinking behind that. It's just makeup and clothes and sweaters and
bobbed
jewelry.
hair.
Exactly, bobbed hair and fancy duds is what it is. That's all it is.
I recently witnessed a robbery downtown at a bank, and I saw the whole thing happen, and by the time it made it to the news a couple hours later, they had the facts just totally turned around. Everything was wrong. Description was wrong, location of the bank was wrong, time, everything was wrong, but there are people out there that are taking this to be the honest truth of what really happened. I mean, how do they get away with that kind of stuff?
What channel were you watching?
I believe it was Como. I believe it was
There you go.
yeah.
Obviously, it was not Miss Anderson.
No, Gene wouldn't do anything like that.
Of course not.
Como. I mean, isn't that Como? That really sounds, it's like something that builds up on your teeth. Como.
Does.
Yeah,
Como.
it's terrible. Let's go to the phone.
I got a bad case of the Comos.
That's right. Ooh, a little Como on your shoe there. Yeah.
Get it off.
All right, do you have a question for our panel?
Yeah, how
much editorializing are they able to do on the air? Do they strictly just read what's on that teleprompter type thing?
Can I say something, even though I'm doing a lot of that? Aaron is the absolute worst case of that I've ever seen. Aaron Brown, dear God, the man is just a big ego with some limbs. I mean, that's all he does is editorialize. I mean, he just raises his eyebrows and smirks and shrugs, and you know, he was okay when he was on 5.
With
They kept him
Gene
in check,
Anderson,
right, with
exactly.
Gene, right. They kept him in check. But
Miss Hannah, I must say that you're being a little bit harsh on local TV newscasters. I mean, I think Mr. Brown is quite the news hound, and he goes out there and hounds up news with his dog. It's Emily, isn't it?
Emily. They only throw that damn dog in there to humanize that guy, and he's not even human. Give him a couple years, he'll be Geraldo.
You know, a couple of years ago, I think everybody knows, Aaron had a small heart attack, and he seemed to improve on the air. He kind of turned into a human being. And then gradually over this last year and a half, he's gone back to the old arrogant Aaron Brown.
I'd just like to make a point here, being a newscaster myself, and that our lives are public property. You think because we broadcast the news so, and the way we're all sitting around talking bad about people who do us a service, the whole community a service by explaining the news and what's going on, it's not our jobs to be egotistical and to have any sort of, I don't know, opinions about what goes on the air. That's not our job at all.
Well, I don't see anybody hovering around you, Jennifer. As far as I'm concerned, you're not important enough to have people hound you for whatever. I mean, no, I don't. You know, I don't see. I don't think you get bothered by
I
it.
don't think I've ever seen a Jennifer bulletin board. You know, one of those large boards that they have when you're driving down Highway 99.
Well, it's not on Highway 99. It's on 148th in Bellevue.
Oh,
That's like
it says it
a
all.
road that nobody goes on, right?
Oh, there. My mother drives down that road.
She must be proud. A lot of people say I look like Mike James. What do you think?
Yeah, funny thing, Mike. I met Mike I was on a bus, and he was got off the bus, and he was there standing there around there, and he was doing something, and I started attacking him. He's a nice guy. He has a son. And he was talking about his son, and his son had to get dentist. I brought up dentist. He had to get braces for the dentist, and I like Mike. He's a good guy.
He rides the bus.
He works with Gene.
That's right. They've been working together for years.
Jean's got kind of a magic touch, doesn't she?
I know, there's just something about her. Mayor Anderson, doesn't it just have a ring?
Well, the boob that we have for a mayor now, didn't he used to be on Channel 5? Wasn't he their news guy?
Who's the mayor?
I don't know. What's his name?
Royer.
Royer.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck Royer.
Right.
That's
Well,
right.
he's
yeah.
leaving anyway, so does it really matter?
That's right. Yeah, the guy that screwed up downtown. He used to be a news commentator on Channel 5, and he got fired or something, and ended up being the mayor. Let's go back to the phone. Hi, do you have a question for us?
Yeah, what do you think of Brian Gumbel and the other news niggers?
Well, certainly right to the point there. I don't know about any others, but Brian Gumbel, this mix-up he's had with
Willard.
Willard. Yeah, I mean, Willard's a great guy if you like fat guys in women's clothing.
Put Brian in the Aaron Brown category. Big damn ego. However, he's completely right about that Willard Scott. Get that fat ass off the air. He's a silly nincompoop. He doesn't know anything about the weather. He's just there for laughs and fun. And you know something, that Steve Poole's the same way. He shouldn't be doing the weather. He should have his own game show or something.
I don't know if you noticed, it was kind of between the lines, but there was a question as to minorities in the news brought up in that last question. Do you feel that there are enough minorities in the news, or too much? I don't mean making the news, I mean delivering the news.
I think one per station is sufficient.
Any particular minority, or?
They can pick and choose.
Okay, yeah. Maybe they could have a different minority every week.
Funny thing is, you ever noticed that the beautiful black woman that's on King and the one
Joyce
that's on...
Taylor.
Is that what her name is?
She works with Gene.
Right, and then the other beautiful black woman that's on Cairo, they're both just as white and Caucasian as they could possibly
right.
be.
Have you noticed how Oprah's gaining all the weight back? Or she's just ballooning right back out again.
I don't think that has anything to do with what we're talking about, Lance.
Thought I had, you know. Do you have a question for us?
Hi.
Hi.
What do you think of Tom Brokaw?
Of who broke off?
Tom Brokaw on TV. Do you like Tom Brokaw?
It's a happy viewer we have there. Tom Brokaw. I think it's Brokaw or Brokaw or.
He's Canadian, isn't he?
I guess, I don't know.
That probably falls under that minority.
He kind of got lost in the big leagues. I mean, they made a big deal about him getting up there, and now that he's there, he's just a sea of people. What do you think? Do you have any aspirations to end up on national news?
Well, Lance, I think that cable television is the station that I'm working on is just a springboard to national news. And I think that if you look back on some of the other national newscasters, they started out just like I did. I started out on a cable channel teaching children's shows. We learned the ABCs and how to count 1, 2, 3. And then they gave me the newscasting job. It was really easy, and it's just a springboard. I tell you, it's just a springboard to the bigger and better things.
Romper room?
We might be having dinner with you, like 6 o'clock we'll be eating our salad, and there you'll be on the TV on the table there.
Well, I certainly hope so. That's what I'm aspiring to. That's what I'm trying to be a news hound for.
Yeah, bouncy, 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 springboard. I tell you what, have you ever noticed how Tom Brokaw swallows his L's? He says, large. Have you ever noticed that? He'll say, today there was a large earthquake.
No,
I mean, how do you get to that position and you do that?
I think it's his Canadian accent.
That might be it.
All right, do you have a question for us tonight?
Well, yeah, that and a couple observations. One, Lance, I want to know how you can get a word in edgewise with 3 women on the show. 2, I would like them to give me a definition of news. And 3, as far as there being enough minorities bringing the news, I've got a family of Vietnamese that bring both my papers every day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I've gotten quite a few words in edgewise, so I think that's taken care of. And what was the other question he had?
What is news?
What is news? That's a good question. Thank you.
Well, I believe that news is something that's interesting to anybody.
Regardless, I mean...
Pieces of stories that are valuable to the community and have to be known. That's what I think news is.
And Margaret, how about you?
I think the most important thing about news is not really what it is, but how it is presented in the professional manner that it comes across. Like Miss Anderson, once again, I must say, she is news. She is the epitome of news. Not only what she says, but how she says it.
So it could be like a pie tasting contest, and she could probably deliver that better than Kathy Gertson.
Right.
Could deliver a 747 crashing into the side of the Smith Tower.
Goes without saying.
Huh.
You know, I know news is sort of a combination of what these 2 gals have said, but I'll tell you another thing is, news isn't just bad news, for crying out loud. I get sick and tired of the bad, always the bad. You never hear about somebody getting married or a baby being born, anything happy like that, or somebody gets cured of something. It's always something that they got, some bad thing, and I'm sick of that.
Well, you know, you ought to start watching the channel that I broadcast for. I forget, it's channel 28 or 29 or it's some cable channel or something like that. But
Yeah.
we report on things that happen, like when Billy got a new bicycle. We reported that, and that was quite happy. And we also report birthdays and special events and things
Yeah,
like
but
that.
if you remember correctly, the Billy got a new bicycle because he had leukemia. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sick and tired of that kind of thing.
Brian Tracy, they've done a thing with him. He's on the afternoon now, and it's all good news. And it's a sleeper. I mean, it's not a good sleeper. It's a put you to sleep sleeper.
It's a yawner.
Yeah, real yawner.
He was better off on evening.
I think so. Penny Legate, now, there's a woman I'd watch every night.
Well, it sure
The
wouldn't be
stick?
because of her
Figure?
Now,
Do you,
Hello, Lance?
yes, do you have a question for us?
Yeah, this is Will and Ted, and we're real news experts.
All right, Will and Ted.
Well, we want to know what the panelists think of the sports reporters. And I've heard that Wayne Cody's quite the womanizer, and I wonder if he's ever approached the airhead next to you there.
Okay, I think he's referring to you, Jennifer.
Oh, Mr. Cody? Well, I have seen him a couple of times, only on the professional level, mind you. We've had meetings at places like Tubbs and things like that, but only professionally.
That does sound pretty exciting. Hot tub with Mr. Cody. The sports announcers. I don't follow sports. I've heard of the Sonics and I've heard of the Mariners and a few other teams, but that's about it. But there are some sports announcers that are so good, even though I don't care who won these games, I really enjoy watching them. Why is that? What is the knack that they have to take people like me who are above those kinds of things and make us interested?
Well, as you know, Tony Ventrella works on Channel 5, that is Gene Anderson's station. I think it's just the whole idea of working with Miss Anderson just adds a professionalism back onto Tony. In fact, he might be good for her cabinet. Tony Ventrella.
The mayor has a
you ever
cabinet.
notice how nuts they are about each other? Gene just loves him.
They're
He'll
good,
open his
yes.
mouth and she starts cracking up. Anything he says or does. You know, it's that Bruce King fella looks exactly like that guy that was on Saturday Night Live, Al Franken. He just looks like an old Al Franken, if you've ever noticed that. He really does. He's got dimples. A guy could smoke out of him. Jesus.
Apparently he went to New York to make the big time and didn't and came back.
That's Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce King.
Well, you can see why. Nothing up here.
Nothing up there.
Doesn't have
Another
a
one.
spark.
Yeah, he talks a lot, though. Is that worth anything? I mean, if you can cram a lot of information in a short period of time, does that kind of make up for lack of talent?
It all depends on what they're saying.
Jennifer?
Well, you do have to be able to read mighty fast sometimes when you have a floor director that's saying, that means gotta cut it short, and or someone that's doing this, that means you've gotta lengthen it out. Yes, and that time, that's when the job gets quite tough. That's where the real talent comes in, is when you can compute those signals into something, so you're not, staggering, looking for words and things like that, and maintaining a professional attitude towards the news, what you're saying, and things like that.
I don't know if you've noticed our floor director right here this evening is keeps going like this. What is that? What does this mean?
Well, I'm not sure. I've never worked on this
He's
channel
Hawaiian.
before.
He's Hawaiian. Okay. So it's like aloha. He's
It's a
happy to be
dance or
here.
something.
Okay. Huh.
Oh,
Okay.
that's funny.
Let's go back to the phone. Hi. Do you have a question for us?
Yeah, I had a couple questions
All right.
you. What happened to Bill?
Bill is out door knocking tonight, trying to drum up some votes. You do know he's running for mayor.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Hey, I'll vote for him.
All right.
My other question, why is it that they can have a black Miss America and we can't have a Miss White America?
A Miss White America?
Yeah, they can have on TV a Miss Black America beauty pageant, but we can't have a Miss White America beauty pageant.
I think that's a real legitimate question. Why is it? And it certainly relates to our topic tonight.
It does?
It's
I think
women.
that's another show, Lance. I think it's a whole nother show.
Huh.
We could talk about the mayor campaign. He
The
did
mayor.
mention that.
The one that Bill is going to win hands
And Miss
down?
Anderson.
Yeah, I'm sure that Bill could find a spot for Miss Anderson in his cabinet. He could.
Or maybe the other way around.
Not much chance of that, I don't think. Not with the.
Yeah, I
hundreds of
guess it
thousands of
depends
viewers
on
we
who
have
has
here.
the most large cabinet.
She probably wouldn't need him, would she?
No. Do you have a question for us tonight?
Actually, my daughter does.
All right.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello there. Are you a news commentator?
No, yes?
Yeah. What station are you on?
I don't know.
Ah, you must be on the same one Jennifer's on.
Oh,
Do you have a question for us?
yes?
What might that be?
what are those girls' names are?
What are their names?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Well, I'm Hannah, doll. If you're talking about us, I'm Hannah.
And my name is Jennifer.
And I'm Margaret.
Oh.
Do you want to be a news commentator when you grow up, or are you grown up already?
Huh?
Are you grown up yet?
No. I'm 6.
You're 6. Okay.
You're in the same league with old Jennifer over here, then.
Well, thanks for calling, sweetheart.
Bye, Shug.
Well, we're just kind of going right through this. I want to know, what is it that got you going, Hannah, on this whole thing on these local women? I mean, what upsetted you so much? What did you try to get a job at one of these stations, or?
Well, I tell you, yeah, I did. I'm very well educated. I got a bunch of degrees from a bunch of different correspondence schools, and I tell you, I have gone on the job search with the resumes, and I go in there and I'm dressed up, I'm, about as nice as I look now, and just get turned down to the point now where I try and get into King, and they don't even buzz me in. They won't even let me in the joint now. And so I'm a little ticked off about the whole thing.
I know I personally am not upset at all about being on a show that's on cable and buried at the end of the selector. I'd much rather be here where we have total freedom than I would on 4 or 5 or 7, certainly 11. But that's another story for another night, I guess. Jennifer, I'm going to be blunt here, and I don't think you're going to like it. You strike me as somebody with not a whole lot upstairs. I mean, you sound like one of these people that just kind of says what's on the teleprompter, but really doesn't have a brain. I'm sorry, but that's how you kind of come across. Am I misinterpreting you? I mean, are you actually intelligent?
Why, yes, Mr. Lambert, I think that you're wrong.
Can you expound on that at all, or? I mean, do you have an education? I know you
Well,
did the kids show, but have you actually gone out there and maybe were you running around in Vietnam in the trenches with a camera? And
Well, no, my first reporting jobs that I did get were fashion shows and Tupperware parties and things of newsworthy interest for our local community. And I did such a good job that they started promoting me to the news. And I try to deliver the news without much opinion, because I like to think that it's up to our viewers as to think as what they think of what's going on.
we're getting kind of two things mixed up here, but I think it's appropriate. Sally Jesse Raphael, who does an afternoon talk show, seems to not be afraid to voice an opinion and break down in tears on the show and get mad at people, and I kind of admire that. By some people's standards, it's not professional. What would happen if, let's say, you were delivering the news and something really made you angry, and you just let everybody know, and maybe, like there's in the Sunday paper, there was an article about the guy that's the head of the safety commission or something, and he's just up to all kinds of shenanigans. He's accused of ripping off money here and there and doing all kinds of things. What if you delivered a story like that and then maybe scolded him right on the air? Would you ever want to do something like that, just break loose?
Oh, I suppose sometimes, I don't really pay that much attention to what I'm reading, only until afterwards when I look at what I've read.
Can I just say something? I'd like to kill Susan Hutchison. I hate her. I hate everything about her. I think she's trying to run for sainthood or something. I hate the way she flaps her hair. And I wish that the viewers were able to just get face to face with these guys and let them know what schmucks they really are.
So maybe if our viewers that agreed with you went in mass down, is it Como? Is that where she is?
She's Cairo.
Oh, Cairo. If they all went down to Cairo and demanded that she be hung.
Right.
You
Or
think
at least dried and quartered.
And then after they do that, they can all go en masse to King